How to make a dismissive avoidant fully commit, this way or that way. Have you ever wondered why a dismissive avoidant feels close one day and distant the next? The harder you chase them, the faster they seem to pull away. It feels confusing, painful, and emotionally exhausting. But what if the biggest reason they avoid commitment is the way most people try to get it? Today, you'll discover what truly makes a dismissive avoidant choose lasting commitment. A dismissive avoidant does not usually fear love itself. They fear losing the freedom that makes them feel emotionally safe. Independence often becomes their strongest emotional shield. When someone demands constant closeness, they feel trapped instead of loved. That is why traditional relationship advice often fails with them. Many people think loving harder will earn lasting commitment. In reality, too much attention often creates more emotional distance. The more pressured they feel, the more they crave personal space. Their withdrawal is usually about protection, not rejection. Understanding this changes everything about your approach. The first secret is becoming emotionally secure yourself. Dismissive avoidants notice calm people more than emotional reactors. Your inner stability creates a feeling of emotional safety. That safety slowly lowers their defensive walls. They begin to see the relationship as peaceful instead of demanding. Confidence is another powerful attraction for them. Confident people do not constantly seek reassurance. They enjoy love without making it their entire identity. When you have your own purpose, you become naturally attractive. Your independence quietly earns their respect. They also feel less pressure around emotionally balanced people. Your happiness should never depend entirely on their attention. A healthy life outside the relationship creates emotional balance. That balance makes commitment feel much safer to them. It also removes the fear of being emotionally consumed. One of the biggest mistakes is forcing emotional conversations too early. Dismissive avoidants process emotions at their own pace. Pushing them before they are ready usually creates resistance. Patience often succeeds where pressure completely fails. Trust grows best when conversations happen naturally. Healthy boundaries are surprisingly attractive to them. Boundaries show self-respect instead of emotional dependence. They prove you value yourself regardless of the outcome. This removes much of the pressure they secretly fear. Respect always grows where healthy boundaries exist. Another important principle is stopping the habit of overgiving. Many people carry the entire relationship alone. That teaches the avoidant they can invest very little. When you stop overcompensating, they notice the difference. Real commitment begins when responsibility becomes mutual. Never confuse healthy space with emotional punishment. Silent treatment is manipulation, not maturity. Healthy space allows both people to reflect peacefully. Giving space shows confidence instead of desperation. Confidence often speaks louder than emotional words. Dismissive avoidants pay close attention to consistency. They trust repeated actions more than emotional promises. Keeping your word builds emotional credibility over time. Every consistent action strengthens their sense of safety. Trust grows through patterns, not dramatic moments. Many dismissive avoidants secretly admire emotional independence. They respect people who can love without losing themselves. That creates a relationship built on balance instead of pressure. Balance is one of the strongest foundations of commitment. Healthy love allows both people room to breathe. Instead of demanding reassurance, create conversations that feel safe. Gentle questions create openness better than emotional accusations. When they feel understood, they become more willing to share. Connection grows when both people feel emotionally accepted. Remember that a dismissive avoidant rarely changes overnight. Their emotional patterns were created over many years. Love alone cannot instantly remove their protective habits. Real change happens through patience and repeated experiences. Small improvements often become major emotional breakthroughs. Notice the progress instead of expecting perfection. A small step toward vulnerability can mean a lot. Opening up more than before shows genuine emotional growth. Encouragement helps them continue moving forward. Criticism often pushes them back into their shell. Do not make commitment the only topic in the relationship. Constantly discussing the future can create unnecessary pressure. Instead, focus on building positive experiences together. Happy memories create emotional safety over time. People often commit where they feel peace and comfort. A dismissive avoidant becomes more open when love feels calm. They slowly challenge their belief that closeness creates stress. Every peaceful interaction changes their emotional expectations. Safety becomes more familiar than emotional distance. Respecting their need for space is also important. Taking time alone helps them regulate their emotions. Space does not always mean they are losing interest. Sometimes it allows them to reconnect with a clearer mind. The key is giving space without losing yourself. However, understanding their attachment style does not mean accepting neglect. A healthy relationship requires effort from both partners. Love cannot survive when only one person keeps trying. Commitment requires mutual care and emotional responsibility. Remember that actions usually influence dismissive avoidance more than words. Promises may sound beautiful, but behavior creates trust. Consistency, kindness, and reliability leave the deepest impact. Your daily actions communicate your true intentions. Never change yourself completely to become the perfect partner. Trying to remove your needs creates hidden resentment. Authentic love requires two people who can be themselves. The right connection allows honesty without fear. Sometimes the strongest move is choosing yourself. Walking away from unhealthy patterns shows self-respect. It communicates strength without anger or revenge. People often respect what they know they cannot control. But remember, you cannot force someone to commit. You can create safety, but you cannot control their choice. Their emotional growth must come from within themselves. Accepting this protects your own peace and happiness. The goal is not to make someone love you through effort. The goal is creating a relationship where love feels safe. Real commitment happens when both people choose each other freely. Love should feel like a decision, not an obligation. When a dismissive avoidant experiences trust, respect, and emotional safety, commitment becomes much more possible. But the biggest transformation often begins inside you. When you stop chasing and start valuing yourself, everything changes. You become someone who does not beg for love or attention. Because the strongest relationship is not built by holding someone tightly. It is built by creating a connection where both people want to stay. A dismissive avoidant may need time to open their heart, but when they feel safe, respected, and understood, true closeness can finally grow. Remember, you cannot force someone to commit, but you can create the kind of connection where love feels safe and natural. Focus on becoming emotionally strong, confident, and secure. The right person will never need you to chase their heart. Thank you for watching. If you like the video, then do like, share, and subscribe to my channel, and I will see you next time.